Parshas VaYechi. VaYechi is the parsha that goes right after the previous parsha, right? Previous parsha, usually there is a space between the end and the beginning. If you read in the Torah this week, you'll see there's no space. It finishes with the words Vayifu vayirbu me'od, and they fertile and increased greatly. And then it continues, Vayechi Yaakov be'eretz Mitzrayim. And Yaakov lived in Eretz Mitzrayim. Sheva esrei shana. That's how it goes. And there's no distance between the first phrase and the second phrase. Okay? I'm putting it as a side note, but it's an important thing to know because we're going to touch to it in a minute. That Yaakov lived in Mitzrayim 17 years. Why? Because you want to tell me how old he was, right? Look in the next pasuk. The next pasuk, it tells me, in the same pasuk, it tells me, Vahi yemei Yaakov shnei chayov. Yaakov was 147 years, right? Okay. Go back, if you don't mind to go back to the next pasuk, which was last week's parsha. When Yaakov came to Paroi, he told him, Paroi asks him, how old are you? He tells him, I am short, bad, 130 years old. Okay? If you tell me now, if you don't mind to scroll up and go back to the previous one, just scroll up. Yeah?
I got it.
Yeah? If you tell me now that I'm 147, take from 130 to now 147 is 17 years. Everyone knows 147 minus 130 is 17. So why does he tell me now, Vayechi Yaakov be'eretz Mitzrayim, Sheva esrei shana, that he lived over here? What's the relevance over here? That he lived over here? Actually, scroll down and you see this question is asking the Orach Chaim. He asks this question, right? See it over there? Right? He's asking, go put it in English. He's asking, why do I need to have those 17 years that I lived in Mitzrayim? It's obvious. From 147 minus 130, 17 years. Let's go, let's continue. We'll scroll down weiter. There's a medrash right here on the first Rashi brings it down the Medrash. And the Medrash says like this. The Gemara asks, why is this Parsha different than every other Parsha? Why is this Parsha, right, got together? Why are they all together? Why is it not broken up? And the Medrash brings down 3 answers. The first answer is, I don't have it over here. The first answer is because he passed away, right? And it started now the trouble, the trouble of Old Eden, right? That's the first answer. So therefore it's closed, like problematic. Second answer is because he wanted to reveal to the Eden when is going to be the new Geula, but Hashem told him, no, you cannot. He took it away from him. That's why it's closed. The idea of closed. And then the third answer is because all the problems are gone. He lived in Mitzrayim now without any problems. Till now he had a lot of problems, and now he doesn't have any problems. So what do you think is more appropriate to the Parsha of VaYechi? The first answer, the second answer, or the third answer? I would say the third answer. Third answer tells me why he's alive. Vayechi Yaakov, he lived. He lived there. He has no more tzoros. Right? That makes sense. This is 3 answers. The third one should be the first. Ironically, there's a Rashi right here in the first Rashi in the Chumash. If you don't mind to scroll down, and you see the Rashi. Rashi brings down the Medrash. But Rashi brings the Medrash, the 2 reasons of the Medrash, the first 2, 1. He omits the third one. He doesn't even talk about the third one, which tells me why he's alive. It tells me only about the bad things. Oh, the problem started. You're talking about dying, about bad. As long as he was alive, there was no problems, right? He wanted to reveal something, again, something, a negative thing. Why don't you? VaYechi Yaakov, VaYechi Yaakov. He should be alive, right? If you don't mind scrolling up all the way to the top, and all the way to the top, and I want to ask a question. All the way, yeah? No, don't click.
I'll go to the top.
Yeah. Now, go a little bit lower. Would it make more sense to say the first
one?
Yeah. Would it make sense to say, look, VaYeshev Yisrael, the Jews were in Goshen, they lived there, VaYechi Yaakov be'eretz Mitzrayim 17 shana. That's it. Last Parsha. New Parsha. VaYehi Yemei Yaakov. Now you talk about his passing. Why do you put in those words, VaYechi Yaakov, into the new Parsha, that he talks only about passing? The entire Parsha is that he calls Joseph and he tells him, come and make sure that I should be buried. Talks about his burying and about his passing, and talks about that he's blessing his grandchildren, and then he takes all his children and he's blessing them before he's dying. Everything about the passing, right? The whole Parsha. And you call the Parsha VaYechi? It's a good question, no? Like Chaisora, but Chaisora, at least we know something here is only, Rashi brings down that the whole Parsha is because problem starts, bad things, negative. There's, because I don't have time, so I'm not going to elaborate too much, but I'm going to say something. There's a postuk in Chumash Devorim, yeah, right here, that says like this: you're connected to God, you're alive. What does it mean? There's something called Mayim Chayim. Have you know the phrase Mayim Chayim? No? Mayim Chayim. Dr. Levy knows Mayim Chayim? Who knows Mayim Chayim? Mayim Chayim. No, I'm not talking about the company Mayim Chayim. I'm not talking about Mayim. Oh, here you have it. Here you have it, right here, right. The seltzer is right? Right, Mayim Chayim. We're talking about a sacrifice. Don't worry. Sacrifice a shchita in the Beis Hamikdash. You need certain sacrifices. You need to have pure water. That's called Mayim Chayim. Mayim that are not Chayim called Mayim Kozov. It doesn't flow. The water doesn't flow. There's no life. It's there, stuck. Mayim Chayim is like something alive, right? Spring water, right? Life water is called Mayim Chayim. Something that's not alive is called Kozov. The only thing that's really life is godly. Godly is really life. Anything that's not godly is not alive. As you see, a human being, after all, they don't last forever, right? Why? Because they are not alive. They're not true. Something that's true, essence, is life. Something that's not completely true. In our world, we are not true. We cannot be true because we have a little bit of not truth in us because we're in a world of not good, right? So therefore, anything that's connected to God is really alive. If it's disconnected, it's not alive. Now, if you can scroll down a little bit more, there's a Ethics of Father. I called it ethics. So I think some of you. Ethics of Father says like this. Look over here. One of the lines is, do not believe in yourself until you die. No one can know for sure that they're going to be pure. Right? Don't believe in yourself until you die. Until you die, you passed away, you know, wow, I was perfect. I didn't fail. Right? Yaakov Avinu didn't know. He lived in Israel. I'm trying to explain why is this parsha all about death and negative, and then you call it VaYechi. When he was in Israel, he had a good life. He was unbelievable, pure and everything. But he didn't know if he's going to come to a place like America, Egypt. Egypt is even worse. He come to Egypt, to all the filth that were there. Is he going to survive? Is he going to be as pure as he is in the Holy Land? In the Holy Land, it's not a chokhmah, you're in heaven. You can learn, you can flourish, you can be pure. But if you mingle between this, eventually it could rub off, right? How do I know if you're really, really good? That's why his real life test was when he passed away. Before he passes away, the Torah says, VaYechi Yaakov. Like you said about Chaisor, it's similar. This is the real life. And now when he comes, and he's going to bless, right? If you can scroll down. If he's going to bless his kids, not only his kids, he's going to bless his grandchildren that born in Egypt and raised in Egypt. And what does he say to all the Eden? Be like them. Why should we be like them? Shouldn't we be like Avraham, Yitzchok, Ephraim, and Menashe? No, because we're going to go through obstacles and everything, and we're going to be survive, and we're going to be like them. It's going to be unbelievable. Because they were tzaddikim, Ephraim and Menashe. That means that he's alive. That makes Yaakov alive by him being surviving in Egypt and being with his grandchildren and seeing through someone else, seeing that is alive. That's why it makes a lot of sense that Rashi brings down the famous Gemara in Tainus, page 5b, which I brought over here. I brought the Gemara. I bring the Gemara. The Gemara says that he didn't want to talk in the middle of a conversation, in the middle of eating, and then he spoke. He asked him, "No, say something." So the Gemara says like this. The Gemara says, where is it? Right over here. The Gemara says like this, that he answered him, Jacob, our father, did not die. So he asked him, what do you mean he didn't die? What do you mean he didn't die? It says clear. We know that they buried him, they mourned him, and they did everything. What do you mean he didn't die? So he tells him, no, look, if his children are alive, that means he's alive. And Rashi, you see over here, Rashi brings it down. Go ahead. No.
I think it's going to get this out of the way.
Okay.
It doesn't go.
No problem. He says, no, I'm sorry. Right. Rashi brings it on. You see, Rashi says, our teachers tell us that Jacob didn't die, right? Didn't die. What does it mean he didn't die? He's alive. How is he alive? Because his whole life is being connected to God and to be pure. And he stays forever, because if his children